Good morning and welcome to Cindy's Kitchen. So glad that you're joining us this morning. What day is it? It's Thursday. See, I can't even remember what day it is. You never know. You just never know. So if you're brand new, Cindy's Kitchen is a cooking community. We have fun, we talk, we chitty chat. It's not your normal fast forward cooking show where everything's done in 5 minutes. We're here quite a little bit, usually 45 minutes, and we make a meal or a dish or 2 dishes. You just never know. Howdy, Britt. How are you doing? Good morning, Vicki Ann and Mom and Dorada. Good morning. I raise my cup. Good morning, Jan. Gosh, gotta love coffee. Hey, Ann from the UK. Good to see you. Dorada. Oh my goodness. Got a little coffee there. Not a coffee, but a cough. Oh, there's Julie from Northwest Houston. Good to see you. Good morning, Julie. Well, so today I was trying to figure out what to cook. And when we went on our field trip on Tuesday to the Hong Kong market here in Houston. Morning, Jan. Hey, Janet. Denise is here. Good morning. Several of you said, I hope you're going to cook something with the stuff that you bought, because I kind of went overboard and bought quite a bit. Field trips are expensive. You think I'm just showing you cool stuff, but I can't stop myself from buying cool stuff, and then we're eating everything. So the first night, I don't know if you remember, but we bought a steamer and we bought beef dumpling things, buns. And so the first night we steamed those beef buns in the steamer that I bought. Good morning, Alice. I know. Well, we'll see. We'll see, Sharon, how I turn all these weird, crazy mushrooms into something yummy. Good morning, Barbara. Good to see you. Hi, Mom. Anyway, so that's what we had the first night. And then last night, I did an impromptu live, and we used the bulgogi. It's a Korean chili paste. And we did the sea scallops and rice noodles. So that's what we had for dinner last night. Hey, Alice. Sharon, Mom's in the hospital. Just letting you know. She fell and has a hairline fracture in her back. So anyway, good morning, Anne. Good morning, Lois. Sharma Lee, oh my gosh, are you not working? Anyhow, so that's what we had the first 2 nights of stuff that we bought. So I did go a little crazy, and I bought way too many different kinds of mushrooms, but of course that means we have to make something with the mushrooms. And I think my favorite thing with mushrooms is on top of steak or on top of a baked potato, but I also love cream of mushroom soup. Sharmali, you're just out of the hospital. You know what? I couldn't tell. You were very cryptic on your Facebook message. So I thought you were in the hospital, but I couldn't figure out why. Send me a private message so I know, or call me later. Well, she may get out today. We don't know. We're waiting on doctors to make decisions after her physical therapy. All right, so we're gonna do cream of mushroom soup. Let us do our coffee clinks really quickly. I got a new mug. I know, it's a big joke. Cindy, how many mugs does one person need? And the answer is, I don't know, but they all make me happy. And this one was very different. And so it's kind of a modern Polish pottery pattern, right? It's not a traditional Polish pottery pattern, but I liked it, so I got it. And so there you go. And cheers. Cheers to all my friends. So yummy. Okay. So let's just go over the kinds of mushrooms that I bought. First, I got these, which I think, because I can't see anything in English, I think these are oyster mushrooms, is what I think they are. If anybody knows for sure, you can tell me. So they have these long stalks, and then little bitty heads. So that's the first kind, and look, there's the bottom, okay? So that's the first kind. Then the second kind, these two are kind of similar. This is called a brown shimmeji, S-H-I-M-E-J-I, shimmeji. Good morning, Melissa. How do you store all your cups? Barbara, in the cabinet, but I also got this little hangy thing for the small ones, because you know, I am not a big 8-ounce or 11-ounce fan. I am really a 16-ounce mug girl. So I bought a little stand for all the other ones. Anyway, so these are brown mushrooms, but they're kind of small too. They have little bitty heads, okay? And the third kind look very similar. These are called white beech mushrooms, okay? But they look very similar. White beech mushrooms, again, they have small heads and longer tubes, stems, whatever. The other one I got were these. Now these are huge, right? These are king trumpet mushrooms. So you see how big those are? Big mushrooms. And the last thing I got was this package of, dried shiitake mushrooms. Look at those. Now these are dried, but not expensive when you consider how expensive mushrooms are. So here's what I thought I'd do. The problem with making mushroom soup is what you normally do is you cook the mushrooms down and then you take a few out so that there's a little bit, and then you puree what is left. We put hooks to hang the mugs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these are different mushrooms, right? Because we got them at the Hong Kong market. And so you puree what is left so that it's really a cream of mushroom soup, and then there's just a few little floaters in there. I decided, because these are so cool, that what I would do, and I don't know if this will work, but we're gonna see. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut off about the tops of all these so that we get these fun shapes in the finished product. But then I'm not gonna waste this. I'm gonna chop this up and saute this with my onion and garlic, and then we'll puree that. But then we'll have the whole mushrooms so that we can see all the cool shapes. So that's what I'm planning to do. I'm getting, Mother's talking, or Sharon's talking to Mother, not me. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I have a big skillet here. See, big skillet, and that's a whole stick of butter. It was sitting out in the cabinet. Also, about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of canola oil, okay? So that's what I put in here, and I'm gonna start melting this, okay? All right, so now, here's what, like I said, I'm gonna tilt you down. Hey, Brenda, the long mushrooms are enoki. Thank you, Vicki Ann, enoki. All right, so there we go, enoki. I thought they were, but whatever. So again, I'm just gonna tip so that, so you see, this is about what we get. So we'll see it in there, and we'll be able to chew and everything, but it will, I need another bowl. Hold on, I need another bowl. I need a bowl. Okay, use this one. Okay, I just need a bowl to put the mushroom heads in. That's what we're calling them. Oh, look how pretty that is. All right, so those are the enoki mushrooms. And then for the rest of this, I'm gonna, again, chop it up a little fine so that, there we go. So we get that mushroom taste, but we, like you would normally do. Okay, so the next ones are these. These are the white beech ones. Look at those, so pretty, except they've kind of fallen apart. And I'm gonna do the same thing with these, all right? I'm gonna tip the ends so we have some fun looking stuff. And then, except, hello, in there, go in there, go in there. Come on, little mushroom caps, I need you to go there. I was calling them heads. You know what? The other thing I need to tell you about is the smell. So the white beech ones, Don't you know how mushrooms smell earthy? Hey, Anita. You know how they smell a little earthy and maybe not appetizing? Wonder who ate the first mushrooms. Maybe they were just really, really hungry. All right, these are the brown shimeji. So that's what those look like. Again, I'm gonna tip off the tops, the caps. Maybe we should call this cap soup. Not capsaicin. Anyway, all right, so the handfuls of the tops are going in the bowl. Uh-oh, the butter is doing that thing. And then I'm gonna chop some of this off to go in our other. And then the bottom goes over here. Hold on, chop, chop, chop. The butter is doing its thing. So before I keep chopping, all right, all our butter and our oil has melted. It's sizzly. I went ahead, because I knew I'd have to chop up a lot of mushrooms. I went ahead and chopped up one onion. This is a yellow onion, but you could use a white onion. You could use, you know, whatever you have. But that's what I had, was a yellow onion. There we go. I'm gonna put that in there, and then we're gonna add just a little salt and pepper to that. I turn that down just a bit. All right, and then I should have chopped my garlic first. So here's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna put this to the side. I have 6 cloves of garlic in there, and there's 6 because one of them is teeny tiny. I know, maybe there's 7. You know how I am about the whole garlic thing. But good flavor and really inexpensive, right? So garlic is like great. Now assume with me for a second you wanna make this and you don't have all kinds of funky mushrooms, which is fine. I just thought this would be fun. If you don't have garlic, obviously you can use garlic powder. I always warn you, and especially if you're new, if you're using garlic salt, it's fine if that's all you have. Just be careful on the amount of additional salt you might add, because you don't want it to be overly salty. And so when a recipe calls for garlic or fresh garlic, garlic powder or granulated garlic, and if you only have garlic salt, that's fine. Just like I said, be careful and don't really add additional salt. Okay, so there we go. There is all the garlic chopped up, and I'm gonna put that in with the onion. So those of you who weren't watching last night, or that you only saw part of it, okay, I'm getting the trumpet mushrooms out. These are huge, huge, I tell you. And there's only 5 in here. For those of you who didn't watch last night, or you just saw the thing that said back, because I got cut off. We were cooking with our scallops, and it was kind of funny. So it's one of the reasons that I usually cook over here, and then, or even if I'm cooking at the stove, I pull a table over so that, hey Jackie, hey Paula, good to see you. I pull a table over because I don't want oh crud, come on Cindy, talk. You saw me in the freezer, there you go. Well, because you have to watch the first one, right? To know why I'm in the freezer. And the reason I was in the freezer is because Cassie and I were really just cooking dinner. It wasn't like a planned, hey, let's do a show at night. I mean, we got ready to cook dinner and I said, hey, do you mind if I do this live? Because Cassie doesn't really care. I mean, you know, my kids are not all big about being live. Partly because I embarrass them quite frequently. Anyway, so they were like, she was like, okay. So I didn't set anything up. I'm taking these trumpets and I'm just gonna slice them, all right? So that I still want some shape, but I don't want that, right? Anyhow, so we're over there cooking and we've got the rice noodles boiling, and then we have the scallops cooking, and you know me and my keep everything on high. which is like right now a problem because I need to get over there and turn that down. Anyway, because everything was so hot over there, the phone overheated. The phone. It got so hot that it went off. It just went off. So then, okay, that's all of my, like, the stems that I cut from all my mushrooms. And I'm going to go put that in with the onion and the garlic. Okay? Okay. Let me look at this. All right. I know that I need a spoon. I know that you may think a whole stick of butter and oil both was kind of a big thing on my part, but what you'll see is the mushrooms will soak up all that butter and oil, and then we'll just have a lovely, lovely flavor. Look at that. All right, so I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit, and we'll keep. Oh, she already turned it down, so there you go. And in this pot, I got another big skillet. In this pot, I'm just gonna put a couple of tablespoons of butter because there's not like a ton there. So, a half a stick of butter. I know, it's like a bad Paula Deen episode, right? And just a sniff of oil. And the reason I do that, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this, but butter has a high burning point. No, is that it? Burning point? Anyway, if you just use the butter, what happens is things will burn faster. Hey, Noor, good to see you. How are you doing today? But if you add the oil, then you can do like a higher temperature without it getting all yah-yah. Just for giggles. Just for giggles, I'm gonna add a few of these dried shiitake mushrooms. Okay, look at this. Look. Oh, I like shiitake. Smoke point, thank you very much. Oh, in here. I'm gonna put them in here. Okay? Just so. All right. No exact measurements because, you know, there you go, mushrooms. All right. Hello, Kathy, good to see you. All right, so when the butter melts, I'm gonna put these in. In the meantime, why is it doing that? Okay. In the meantime, we need the big old pot because we have to start our stock. We have to start the stock. Say that a couple of times fast. You don't have to smoke them in water first. I know, but I don't want them just boiled. I want them with a lot of flavor, and so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. There you go. All right, so these are gonna keep cooking. I'm gonna go ahead, the butter's not all melted, but I'm gonna go ahead and put our tops. These are our mushroom tops, okay? So we have, look at this. We have these, which are the enokis. We have the brown ones, little brown ones. We have the little white ones. Look how cute those are. We have the big trumpet mushrooms that I cut up. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Put the dried ones in the stock, yeah. Hey, Tommy from Beaumont, good to see you. You didn't call me little girl today. Now I'm a little distraught. Ah. All right, so we're gonna put this in here again, because we're layering, we're seasoning every layer, a little salt. And again, that salt will help. So the mushrooms have water, they have moisture in them. We wanna draw that moisture out so that it then can suck up the butter flavor. Okay, so this is going on. That looks lovely. Yay! Okay, stock. Oh, I was gonna say, if you don't have all these funky kind of mushrooms, but maybe you go to the grocery store and they have button mushrooms, they have shiitake mushrooms, they have portobello mushrooms, okay? All of that, you could make a grand mushroom soup. Hey, little girls, yes, Tommy, thank you. I know it's silly, but when people say certain things all the time, when they don't, then I get all disappointed. So there you go. Hey, Melissa. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, the other mushrooms. I will give you this warning. If you use portobello mushrooms, and I don't have any to show you, but you know that portobello mushrooms are the big ones, and they have the brown, if you flip them, after you take the stem off, it has the brown, like gills. That's what they look like, brown gills under there. You really need to take a spoon and take those gills off before you make your cream of mushroom soup. If you do not, it will be an ugly brownish gray color because those gills can stain everything. So that's the best thing if you're using portobellos. Portobellos taste delightful, grilled, lovely. But anyway, okay, so we have our stems in one. We have our tops or our caps, because that's what you call the top of a mushroom, a cap. Why is that? Because it looks like a little cap, right? So there we go. I did like 5, I bought this little set of like 4 or 5 diamond dots that were all mushroom houses. I bet I've done, I don't know, over 100 diamond dots. Okay, big stock pot is what we need, and now we're gonna need some stock. Now I'm using my homemade veggie stock, but obviously you can use whatever kind of, oh, there we go. You could use, let me give you some options. You could use veggie stock. You can use chicken stock, because I am gonna put some chicken bullion in here. Ugh. Cremini mushrooms make amazing, yes, those are good too. You could, if you don't have any stock, this is why I always keep chicken the granulated chicken bullion around, because if you don't have stock, but you have water and chicken bullion, you're good to go. Although it is always, if you want to make it taste better, the best thing to do with that is to saute onion, garlic, carrot, celery in a little butter and oil, salt and pepper. Then add the water, then add the chicken stock. Whoa! Then it tastes really homemade. Turning you down. All right, so here's my chicken stock. It's just chicken flavor bouillon. You can use any brand you want. I'm gonna add a tablespoon, because remember, this has no meat. This is just veggie stock that I made. You know, we've done it several times on this show. I call it scrap stock. Actually, I think I'm gonna put in 2. There we go. And I salt and peppered the stock when I was boiling it, so I'm not gonna add that because I did salt and pepper that, and chicken bouillon does have salt in it, so I don't need to add additional salt there. All right, so we're gonna put this on the stove and get this going. We have stuff going everywhere. All right. I want you to look at these. Do you see how gorgeous? These are the caps. It's, hi, Lori. It's okay. We're making crazy mushroom soup that we bought at the Hong Kong market. Do you see how lovely all that is? Even the ones that were dried, the dried mushrooms. I want you to look. Well, come here. I'll just stick my finger in there. I want you to look at how lovely those are getting. Those were dried, but in this butter and oil, and then the heat, oh, getting lovely. Lovely, I tell you. All right, so there's that. Here is our stems. This is an onion, a bunch of garlic, because you know me, right? A little salt and pepper, and then all the stems from all the different mushrooms that we did. Okay? It smells delightful, even though every one of those mushrooms smelled like something different. Anyway, so there we go. Once our stock starts to boil, we're gonna put this in the stock, and then we're gonna puree it. I know, happy birthday, Lori. Happy birthday. Everybody tell Lori happy birthday. Okay, the other thing I'm gonna add, and I'm gonna go ahead and add it now to the stock, is I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire. Now I know I shouldn't because I just told you about all the salt, right? Hey, Linda Sue. Oh, you have to go for an appointment. Sharon is so busy. She's a realtor, and she is just selling houses right and left. I know I just said that about the salt, and Worcestershire is kind of salty, but it is one, besides the butter, I mean, my favorite thing to do is to get a stick of butter, a ton of mushrooms, and quite a bit of Worcestershire. And then I mix it all up, cook it all down, and that's what goes on top of my steak or my baked potato. Love it. Oh, and garlic, obviously, right? We're talking about Cindy. So I am gonna put about a tablespoon, and I'm gonna put this in with my stems so that it's all yummy, right? Okay, so about a tablespoon, because this is almost empty. Well, that's enough, but there's just a little in there. So, Lori, you know Noor is in Moscow. On your birthday, have you ever gotten birthday greetings from Russia? That's the coolest thing about our Cindy's Kitchen family is people are everywhere, right? All over Texas, Illinois, Indiana, Florida, Michigan, everywhere. So if I didn't say your state, I'm sorry. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is I got some basil. She's doing much better. Well, there you go, see? This is fresh basil. I just got it out of the outside. If you don't have fresh basil, but you have like a powdered ground or whatever, you could use that just maybe a teaspoon. That's all you need. I'm using fresh because, you know, mushrooms don't have a ton of flavor, and that's one of the reasons that we add butter and garlic and all that other stuff, because they do tend to take on the flavor of whatever it is you're cooking. Okay, a lot of mushroom soups will use as a flavoring, they will use thyme, okay? T-H-Y-M-E, not extra seconds. If you ever look for, my favorite cream of mushroom soup, it has always been La Madeleine. I don't know if there's La Madeleines everywhere. Oh, and Lori, have you ever in your life gotten a happy birthday from the United Kingdom? Because if not, Anne just sent you one. This is like your international birthday. So again, I rolled these up. There's somebody whose kids love it when we chiffonade. So that's what we're doing. We're rolling them up in a little ball, and we're gonna cut thin strips this way, okay? And we're gonna put that in the soup, but I'm gonna wait until after I puree, okay? So I'm just gonna chiffonade. You know, just fun to say that, chiffonade, one of these. It's almost as good as saying mirepoix, right? Okay, so there, look at that. Yummy, yummy, fresh basil. Oh, I'm not a big fan of thyme, which is why the seconds or the herb, which is why I am using basil. Just not a big fan of thyme. Just like I can't stand sage. Whoa. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, so here is our stems. Look at those. Okay, I have to tell you that since it means the world to you. It's International Birthday, get it? The world. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. So here's our onions, garlic, and stems. Look how much they've cooked down. Yum. Okay, and as soon as our stock is boiling, we're gonna use our gadget. Now, you guys have seen this gadget. This is a immersion blender. I use the same immersion. I have the one that we got as a wedding present, and I know it still works, but it made this horrible high-pitched whirring, you know, it was horrible. So I decided I needed a new one, and I love this, partly because it does a whole lot of things. Anyway, so there we go. So we just put this on the end, and now we have one. I just have to plug it in, okay? Let's have a sip of coffee, shall we? And we got to start making bread, too. Oh, no, I'm going to do it over there. Well, maybe not. Maybe I should do it over here. Jessica was going to go get an extension cord because if I use it over here, I don't have a plug. So I was going to do it over there because I have a plug. But then you can't see. And did you want to see? You wanted to see, right? You wanted to see. What else is going on? It rained here this morning. And so you know what that means about Cindy's joints. Not Cindy's joints like, let's go to my joint, baby. Or the illegal kind. But my joints. Joints, you know. Okay, here we go. This is almost to a boil. Almost. It's very hot. So I'm going to bring this over. And then we're going to turn that off. We're going to pour in, look at that. We're going to pour in our stems. Oh, such a lovely smell. You want to see, of course you want to see, right? Oh, she wants to smell. Good, huh? Butter, Worcestershire, garlic, onions, mushrooms, yum. Okay, so there is our, that's in there. Now you're like, that's not very much, right? Hope your author gets better. My Arthur?
Mother.
Mother. I bet it's mother. Yeah, there. Dangerously delicious. I know, right? Okay, so you ready? Here we go. Watch. Now, if you've never used an immersion blender, you got to make sure that you put it, you don't like turn it on and then stick it in. Because if you do that, whew, you do need smelly phones. Debbie, we need smelly phones. So you put it in there. Now you saw that our stock, oh, my arthritis. Arthur, my arthritis. We'll name my arthritis. Thank you, Lori. My arthritis is now named Arthur. I don't like Arthur. Arthur is not. Yeah, there we go, Susan. Okay, so you got to be careful if you lift up. Normally, if there was more stock in here, I would do an up and down motion. Plus, Mom, thank you. But I'm just kind of tilting a little bit, okay? All right, that was it. That didn't take long, did it? No, it didn't. All right. So this, can you see in here? It's like all, wait, let me move this aside. Can you see the color? If I move the whiskey, the whisked, like broth, can you see now that it's a brownish cream color? So yummy. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take our mushrooms, look at that. These are the tops, the caps, and those dried mushrooms, okay? So we're gonna put those in here, which have even more butter. Who doesn't love that? Now let me put this over here. We are going to add our basil. Look at this. All of it, yum. And then we're gonna add, you're gonna ask me how much. And I'm gonna say, because it depends on, right, how much you're making. This is a 16 ounce, so this is a pint. I'm gonna say between a half a cup and a cup. We'll just see how much I pour. This is heavy whipping cream. Maybe half. Between a half a cup and a cup, all right? Because I love creamy soup, okay? Yum. Okay, now I'm gonna put this back on the stove so that all the flavors can get all happy. The flavor's gonna get all happy. Now you say, Cindy. What shall we do while the soup cooks? Well, I would answer. Hello, Cleanne and Francis. Good to see you. The answer to the question is, hold on, getting a cookie sheet. This drawer that I have over here, It needs fixing, but it hasn't been fixed. So there you go. So I got a sheet pan out. Probably need to get some, I need to find someplace to put that, some parchment paper. I decided, because this is such a good soup, that I needed a hearty bread. So not just like regular bread. And actually, I was thinking focaccia, but the grocery store didn't have focaccia. H-E-B didn't, and Kroger didn't. So what we're going with today is a ciabatta instead. I know, well, why don't you make, well, I'm not making it, so there we go. So this is a big loaf of ciabatta bread. Oh, who doesn't love the smell of bread, right? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Maybe, if I can find a small pot. Okay, remember we used that half a stick of butter? I'm gonna put the other half in here. And then I'm gonna be lazy. Lazy. Instead of using actual garlic, I'm gonna use, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon of just granulated garlic. You could put garlic salt in here too, that would be fine. Actually, I'm gonna add just a whiff of salt. All right, we're gonna put that on the burner and we're gonna let that melt. Then we're gonna cut our bread. Hey Jess, are you in here? Bread knife. Now you could cut across here and do it like that, but I want them long so I can dip them. Would you give me a piece of parchment paper, please? So I'm gonna cut it like this. Oh, okay, so if you've never had ciabatta, it's kind of a little like crusty on the outside, but soft and holy. Not like, oh, holy, but with holes, right? On the inside, so good. And you can cut as thick or as thin as you want. I like the thin pieces. Well, kind of thin, I don't know. Like that. Like, that's about the size of a piece of sandwich bread, right? So, partially because it's still a good size. The other part is maybe I could have multiple pieces and wouldn't feel so guilty. Like if it was a big old chunk of bread and I had more than one piece, I might feel guilty. Would it stop me? Probably not. It's kind of like when I go to town on the Reese's peanut butter cups from the freezer. And then I start to feel guilty. And then I feel really guilty because I know it's not good. But the guilt, it does not stop me. I continue to tear through the peanut butter cups. Love me some peanut butter cups. I will tell you, I bought chocolate peanut butter ice cream from Baskin-Robbins, 31 flavors. It didn't say Reese's peanut butter cup, which is what the ice cream in the glass case said. This just said chocolate peanut butter ice cream. And in fact, the ice, I did not go even. Ugh. Look, I got a piece that's all, yeah. Jessica says she'll eat the end piece. Okay. Anyway, okay, so Jessica got us parchment paper, and then I'm gonna lay all these on here. Anyhow, the ice cream, it wasn't like peanut butter cups in there. It was actually chocolate ice cream with like peanut butter in there. Like you would dump a spoonful of peanut butter in there. So not like hard or anything. I don't know, it was just, I thought it was weird. I thought, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still ate it. Uh-oh, butter, thank you. All right. This is our butter, just a pinch of salt and granulated garlic, okay? Who doesn't love that? Except I need to give it a stir because there's like a wad of granulated garlic on the bottom. Okay, there we go, that's it. I'm gonna set that there. The bread, she not be fitting all on the sheet. Look at that. Come on. Come on. I need one more. I'm shoving you in here. There, I just won't use the end. That's okay. All right, so there we go. I got them all on there. Ta and da. I have the oven preheating. I have it preheating to 400. We could just put it on a low broil and broil the top. So we could certainly do that. Now, I'm gonna use, our soup should be boiling. Hold on. Let me give it a stir. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. Do you have one of these? If you have a brush, like a pastry brush, this is a silicone brush, you can use one of these, but you know what? If you don't have one, just use a spoon and spoon it on here. Because, I know a lot of, oh, you got to buy some fancy something or another. This was on sale for $1. And I want to say we got it at the dollar store, but I can't remember. It may have been at the dollar store. I can't remember. But you guys know I'm kind of cheap. Like I almost didn't buy the scallops. It was a really good price on the scallops. It was like 11 something or another. So, almost $12 for those scallops that we had last night. But that's a lot of money for one meal, for the meat for one meal, I think. Like I said, I knew it was a good price for scallops, especially because they were sea scallops and not bay scallops. But still, the cheapo part of me was like, $12 for the protein for one meal? No. Because if I spent $12, which I don't know that I would, if I spent $12 on a pork tenderloin, I could get 3 meals out of that puppy, right? If I spent $12 on a big thing of hamburger meat, I could get at least 2 meals, probably 3 out of that big. Not that you would ever, well, maybe, I don't know, $12 on a chicken, like a whole chicken. And I can't imagine, that would have to be a prize-winning chicken is all I gotta say. But let's assume that it was a $12 chicken. I still could get 4 or 5 meals out of that. So, hey, Francis, so paying $12 for the protein for one meal, that, am I the only one like that? Are any of you like that? I know that my kids kind of make fun of me because, if it's not on sale, mom's not buying it. Are any of you like that? Or am I the only miserly person that you know? It's just, I know it kind of sounds bad, right? I'm just using all what's left in the bottom. Because why waste buttery, garlicky goodness, right? So anybody else? You're the same way, Lori? Well, thank you. Now I don't feel so alone. I'm a little miserly. It's kind of like, I know this will sound stupid, but if I have to buy, especially like small elbow macaroni, it's called a splurge. Yes, it was a splurge. If I need like small pasta, I will get it from the Mexican food aisle, right? Where it says Mexican food or Hispanic food or international food or whatever. And it's not Goya, I don't know what the brand is, but whatever the brand, not miserly, thrifty. Oh, I taught you to be frugal? Okay, well, frugal or thrifty? I like thrifty. All right, so here's our yumminess. Look at that yumminess. Yeah, I like to plan my meals based on what's on sale. There you go. Good, Anne. See? All right, so there's our butter and our garlic. In the oven it goes. Now, whilst we wait, I have a pretty bowl that I'm going to use for my mushroom soup. Isn't that a pretty bowl? Look at this. Ta and da. Looks very pretty, I thought. I know, I'm a miser on food, and then I go and spend it on Polish pottery. And then here's the plate. Although this plate may be too small, I was trying to find something that would match this. And I really didn't have anything to match, but I thought doesn't this look like it coordinates well? I think it coordinates well. So even though it's not the same pattern, that's what I'm using. Well, Melissa, here's what I found. The Frugal Gourmet, yes. Here's what I found. And I know it's a pain in the patukas, But if, look at this. What fell into my coffee? There was a mushroom in my coffee. Go away. They match perfectly. I think they're very nice together. Here's the way you fix all that. If you will plan your meals ahead of time and write it all down and say, this is what we're having, even if it's breakfast and lunch too, this is what we're having on these days, and you can build in snacks, you know, whatever. And then when you go to the grocery store, you only buy what's on the list. If there's, you know, and I check the sales. Like, I shop a lot at Kroger because they have digital coupons that I can just download to my card and I don't have to, like, clip anything. But H-E-B will have coupons like, if you buy this one thing, you get these 6 things free, which I like that too. And if you go to, like, if I go to the Fiesta or the Hong Kong market, they'll have a lot of things that are so much cheaper than they would be elsewhere. So anyway, okay, so I need to ask a question, and the answer to your question will determine what we do next. All right, here's the question. Well, hold on. So yummy. Do you like a thinner, like a very thin mushroom soup, or do you like it a little thicker? Like, you know, with some body. I actually think I'm going with the body. Don't burn the bread. Thank you. We're good on the bread. All right, hold on. I'm gonna get this. Okay? I'm gonna get this, and I'm also gonna get some more butter. I know, thick. I try to spend $1,000 a month for a family of 7. Melissa, oh my. Move. Dog's in my way. All right. So we need some butter. I bought this. I thought it was the quarters, but it's this big hunk and chunk of butter. Anyway, it's harder to tell how much is like a tablespoon or anything, but there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna say that's maybe 2 tablespoons. So I'm gonna go with 4. So I'm gonna go with 4 tablespoons of butter in here. Thicker, but not too thick. Okay. All right, so here we go. 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna melt that. And then, as soon as it's melted, I'm gonna put in 4 tablespoons of flour. So remember, this is kind of like making a gravy or a white sauce. Anytime you're making a gravy or a white sauce, it's equal parts of fat and flour. So you can use butter, you can use oil, you know, so whatever, but it's equal parts of fat and flour. And so we're gonna thicken this soup up by making kind of like a white sauce, or a little gravy. And once we put that in there, we'll whisk in, and then that will make us all good and lovely, okay? Kind of gonna have to go back and forth. And what I may have, if I can get Jessica in here, what I may do is bring you over. So, cause I'll need to, you can't walk away from a white sauce or gravy. You actually have to kind of pay attention and stand there. Otherwise, things get out of hand, right? Okay, our butter's melting. So we'll see if we can get Jess. I don't know where Jess is. Oh, Jessica. Oh, Jessica. See, you never know where she is. All right, so if we can get her to come over, we're gonna make our white sauce. The butter is melting. Could we get you to hold the camera? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna flip you around, not flip you off, flip you around, all right? And then hand you to her, and she's gonna come over here so you can see what I'm doing on the stove. Oh, it's okay, Gail. We're making mushroom soup. Okay, there you go. All right. So come over here, but be careful because we don't want the foam to get too hot. There's our mushroom soup. Look how lovely that looks. Our butter here is melted, and we did 4 tablespoons of butter. So we're doing 4 tablespoons of flour. Whoops. Equal parts fat and flour. 3, 4. Wait, was that 4?
That was 4.
Okay. Or was it 3? I can never tell. All right, I'm gonna use this. And then we're gonna move that around so that the butter and the flour get to, are you sure that was 4? That does not look like, but that's okay.
Ask the people.
Did anybody count? Did I do 3 or 4? Because it really looks like 3, but that's what happens when you talk. All right, I'm gonna put just a little salt in here, not very much, and a little pepper, just to season. I really
3.
like 3. I only did 3? Okay, thank you. You guys are lifesavers. 4, there we go. All right, that would have been bad, right?
Somebody else said 4. Ann says 4.
Oh no!
A lot of people are saying 3 though.
Okay. All right. So now do you see how it's bubbling? I'm hoping you can see how it's bubbling up. It's getting thicker because the flour and the butter is thickening up, okay? And so we're gonna let this, see, it's like it's growing. It's like a yeast or something, and it's getting bigger. All right, look at that. Can you see how that's, all right, so that's getting bigger and bigger. I'm gonna let this, if you were making a gravy or a roux, like if you were using for gumbo, you would let this come to a lovely brown color, right? You would let it come to a brown color, and then you would add your liquid. If you were making a milk gravy, you would add milk. Cowboy gravy, you add coffee. You make this, get it a pretty color, and then you add coffee to it, and you have a cowboy, it's called cowboy gravy. Anyway, so there we go. Now, so what I'm gonna do is as this thickens up a little bit, then I'm gonna take my ladle and I'm gonna add a little bit of the stock. And if I happen to get a mushroom or 2, that's okay. Look at that. Oh, you see how it's changed colors? Now you see how it's a darker color already? It's a darker color already. Yum. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and add some stock. It's not as thick as I would necessarily care for it to be, but I gotta check the bread in just a second. Oh, look at this. Oh, bubbled all up. Okay, this is when things get crazy. This is when you can't walk around. Look how it's seized. You see how it's seized up? Look at that, I'm taking it off the stove. You see that? It's seized up and it's turned almost into a gravy. So we're gonna get a little bit more stock and put in there. Look at that. Oops, let me turn this off. See that? See how it's thickened up? All right, I'm gonna do one more before I put it in. So if I was making a gravy, I wouldn't need to keep adding all this liquid because I'd want it thickened up, right? But I want this to thicken my soup. And so that's, oh, look at that. Look how thick so now this is what we're gonna use, and we're gonna add this to our broth. Okay, there we go. You see our broth here? Now we're gonna add this, and that'll thicken up our soup a bit. We won't have like eating it out of here, right? That would be gross, but because we don't want mushroom gravy. Although we could have made mushroom gravy right there. All right, so we're gonna let this cook. We're gonna bring it back up to a boil, and that's gonna thicken up our mushroom soup. All right, we're gonna check on the bread.
It's done.
Oh, the bread's done. Okay, back up, there we go. All right, we're backing up.
What do you think?
It's not done.
Another minute?
Well, actually, it's fine. It doesn't have to be like crispy. Oh, these are, okay, it's fine. All right, we'll put these over here. And then move all this.
Here, I'll do that.
Okay. Taking me back. Oh, wait, I gotta show you. Look at these. Cassie made homemade snickerdoodles last night. How lovely is that? Yum. Because you know, I don't bake. So, whew, I'm sweaty now. I'm sweaty. Over there. It was quick moving with the white sauce, the thickener. You gotta keep on it. Add some flour, stir, stir, stir. So anyway, there you go. So here's my little plate. And I'm gonna put 2 pieces of bread. So there's our little bread that we'll dip in our soup. Yum. Yum. Anything else going on with anybody? We're almost ready for our soup. I just want to give it a few seconds, just so everything can be happy together. Happy together. There we go. All right, let me check. Okay, the longer that it cooks, ouch, hot, 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 ouch, hot, 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 very hot, very hot. The longer it cooks, it will thicken up a little more, okay? But I'm good. I'm good. Okay, and remember we used all that cream, yumminess. Okay, we're gonna use our pretty bowl. Oh, so yummy. Okay, are you looking at that? Are you looking at that? All right, let me move the hot bowl, the hot pot, back over here. And then we can taste. I made a mess. Waiting for the hot weather, 108 degrees Sunday. It's hot here. Oh, thank you so much, Noor. God, it is just, you know, that ERCOT thing. Like I said, I'm sure you guys don't really, you know what's really good on bread? Mixed butter, Parmesan Reggiano, fresh lemon juice, chopped parsley. Yum. I wouldn't have thought about the lemon juice. That sounds good. Anyway, ERCOT is like the grid controller in Texas. So it's not the government, it's some private stupid organization. And when we had that freeze in February, because it never freezes in Texas, right? And so they didn't have enough electricity. And so all of us lost our power. And that's when all my pipes burst. And, you know, yada, yada, yada. Well, ERCOT comes out last week and says that all Texans should turn their because of the hot weather, all Texans should turn their thermostat to 78. Now, I know that that was probably the responsible thing to do, the environmental thing to do. Maybe you keep yours on 78 all the time. But I am a woman of a particular age. And women of a particular age are hot all the time. And I have, when I sleep, the AC, the ceiling fan, and a bedside fan, right? So I am a huge, it needs to be cold girl. So when I read that, I was like, you know what, ERCOT, or ERCOT, however you say it, here's what I say to you. I might give you a pass on not having enough electricity for a freak freeze in February. Maybe I'll give you that. Although, come on. But not having enough electricity for Texas in the summer, we haven't even started. I mean, it's June. You want to know when it's really bad here? End of August, 1st of September. Ugh. I mean, it's just, you know. Okay, sorry. Off topic. There we go. All right, so we have our garlic bread there. I guess I should have put some cheese on there, but I didn't. And here we have our lovely multi-mushroom soup, crazy mushroom soup. Okay, you ready? So here it is. Can you see? I wanna see if we can get several of the different mushrooms in one little. Look at that. I'm not gonna put that whole thing in my mouth because that's too many. But look, there's the little white button mushrooms. This one is the trumpet. That little bitty one. Let's look at those. So all the different kinds of mushrooms. Here's the little brown ones. Look how cute. So all the different kinds of mushrooms are in here. All right, so you ready? I just have one mushroom on there, but it's very, very hot. I know it would be the perfect bite, right? Okay. Oh. But even though that's really good, here's the fun part. Take the bread, dip the bread like this until the end of the bread gets a little soppy. And then, I almost would chop this up and just lay it in there. So good. Guess what we're having for lunch and dinner? Yippee. I hope you had fun today. I have a yummy soup to eat for lunch. So I know, Lori, I know you don't like mushrooms. Oh, Nora, you're a dipper too. I love dipping the bread in the soup. Yum. Anyway, so I hope you guys had a good time. I know I ran a little over, but when you're making something from scratch, and especially when you're using so many different kinds of mushrooms, it took a little longer because I wanted to make sure you saw our finished product. I hope you had a great time and have a great rest of your week. And from my kitchen to yours, may all of your recipes be quick, easy, and yummy. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.